Revelations of a Delusional Knitter.
Hello, welcome to Revelations of a Delusional Knitter. This is episode 129. I'm Angela, your host, and it is Tuesday, January 5th, 2016. Happy New Year. It's the new year. It's been a little bit since I recorded. Speaking of that, why don't we just move on to declarations and what's been going on. So, it'll probably be, I hope to get 2 episodes out a month, but it may be less than that for the time being because I'm the only one. So in January we did shift bids at work, so some people changed shifts. I'm the only one left on 2 to 10 right now, so there's a vacancy, which means the only days I'm eligible for overtime, and by eligible I mean assigned, are on my days off, because otherwise I'm there, so I obviously can't work overtime if I'm already there for my scheduled shift. So, like, today is my only day off. I worked overtime yesterday, and I think there's only 1 2-day off block for the rest of the month that I'll have, and I made plans on one of those days anyway, so it's going to be a little tricky. Number 1. Number 2, I'm finally trying to get back into figuring out what's wrong with my left shoulder and why it always hurts really bad. So I'm in physical therapy for that right now, so even on my work days, technically I could still probably bang out an episode if I wanted to, but now 2 days a week I'm going to physical therapy, so that kind of takes up all the time before I go to work, and that only leaves so much for other things like laundry and, errands and things like that. So there may be less episodes in the very near future. We do have 2 trainees at work that are starting now, and both of them were already dispatchers somewhere else, so that seriously decreases the amount of training time people need. So hopefully they're released from training soon and they stay, because when I was hired there were 3 of us and I'm the only one left. So yeah. What else has been going on? The Epic Knit Along. I haven't done a lot for that, but there's been a lot of chatter on the group, which is really cool, and people are starting to post projects, so I'm excited about that. I did update my queue, and I did add something I never thought of. You have all your patterns in Ravelry, ones that you purchased, or if you have books or things like that. I never thought about magazines. I have a ton of magazines. Some of them are now digital, which is good because they don't take up as much space, but I have a ton of like interweave knits magazines that I never even thought to put in Ravelry, because then it puts all those patterns in your library. So I updated that, so that was pretty cool. Susan Claudino had a really good sale that was like buy 2 get 2, and there were a few of her little stuffy patterns that I've wanted for the longest time, so I figured that was the best time to get them, so I did. I got, I think one was the Boo Crew, so it's Halloween themed, and then I always wanted Pat, she's the little pumpkin head guy, so that was cool. Let's see what else. I had to make a phone call before I recorded, and this is just so annoying. And I'm not looking for sympathy, it's just what's been going on in life. And I know that this is really not the worst problem to have, because I deal with people who, like the other day there was a homeless guy, completely smashed, hammered, outside. It's freezing out, and he's on the bench at the train station, like pretty much unconscious because he's so drunk. He's obviously got way bigger problems than I do, so I get that, but just as an example. The other day I was at work, and I was eating a granola bar, and it wasn't even a really hard one. It was a Lara bar. Those are pretty soft because they're primarily like mushed up dates. And, I was just sitting at work doing my thing, and I was like, I think something's stuck in my teeth, Yeah, there's definitely, it really felt like, not just like something stuck between your teeth, like protruding, like visible. So I was like, ooh. So I went rooting around in my bag, found some dental floss, and I went into the bathroom to get this, whatever it is, out of my teeth. There was nothing in my teeth. My front tooth just broke in half. It wasn't that bad, actually. It wasn't like half my tooth, but it was clearly visible, a big hole missing out of my front tooth. So I went back into dispatch, and I was like, I just broke my front tooth. So then I talked to people for the rest of the day in person like that, because I had a big gaping hole in my tooth. I called the dentist. Luckily, they were able to get me an appointment the next day, and it got fixed. Obviously, there's not a gaping hole in my tooth right now, so that was all set. However, this combined with two other things I'm going to tell you in a second. So when I worked at the previous department, and I'm almost positive their insurance went like June. It wasn't the calendar year. It was like June to July or whatever was how their insurance went, number one. Number two, typically when you start a new job, you get a clean slate for your insurance, right? Yeah. Well, this is the same insurance company. So, I thought that my insurance was like brand new clean slate for the year. No, they added it to the root canal that I had had in March. So I've exhausted my dental insurance for the year, and that cost me $300. So, great. And I really can't think of a way to argue that because it is what it is. You know, I did have a root canal earlier, so they already paid out quite a bit this year. So I'm just going to eat that one. Suck it up. However, number two is the one I was just on the phone with. I went to the doctor the other week for like a routine, you know, your annual lady bits thing. Let's put it that way, okay? While I was there, I've had a corn on the bottom of my foot for like years, like probably like 10 years. And I treat it at home with the corn remover, you know, and then I give up and then it grows back and then I do it again and blah, blah, blah. So it's been like years I've been trying to treat this thing. So while I was there for my annual appointment, I said, hey, can you look at my foot? Because I can't get rid of this thing. It keeps coming back, and it's on the bottom of my foot. Feels like I'm walking on a tack half the time. It's terrible. So she takes a look at it, and she's like, oh, yeah. She's like, you're probably still going to have to treat it at home, or you might, you know, we might have to send you to the podiatrist if it doesn't go away. But if you want right now while you're here, I can shave it down and get rid of most of it so that if you try treating it at home again, you know, a big chunk of it is gone. It might be more successful. I said, great, let's do that. Apparently that's not covered by insurance. Yeah. Unless you're like diabetic or have some circulatory problem where you need the doctor to cut your toenails and do things to your feet because if you're diabetic, if you cut yourself, you may bleed and not heal. Things like that. So I get why it's not covered. Kind of. Except I kind of don't because if I've had this thing for years and treating it at home isn't successful. Number one. Number two, what if I decide to cut it out myself and my foot gets infected? They'll cover that, right? That's just stupid. And so that's not my problem. If I'm stuck with that, because it's not a covered service, if I'm stuck paying for that, that's fine. Lesson learned, I will eat it and I will pay that. However, what the insurance company did was they just like lumped that office visit with that procedure and they're not paying for the office visit, which is $180. And I'm like, no. Because that's not what the appointment was for. The office visit was for the other thing. So, no, because that is a covered service. I'm not paying for the office visit. So that's where it is right now. We're going back and forth trying to get the insurance company to pay the office visit. Because like I said, if I'm stuck with, it was $129 too. And by the way, it grew back already. But if I have to pay that, that's fine. But I'm like, I'm not paying the office visit because that's not what the office visit was for. I was like, I went there for a covered service, and while I was there, I said, hey, can you take a look at this? And that's the not covered service. I'll pay for that if I have to, but I'm not paying the office visit because that's not, I don't think that's right. But whatever, so we're going to see how that goes. So anyway, let's add those two together. We're now up over $600. Then, when I started this job, obviously I had to get new uniforms, right? And this is just so stupid. Like, it's just so stupid. It's so frustrating. So they used the same company that the old one where I used to work did. So when I went in July, mind you, I ordered shirts. I already had an account. So they looked up the account and they're like, oh, okay, did you want the same thing? And I said, well, technically yes, but the color has to change and the logo's going to change. It's a different department. Okay, fine. So I ordered the shirts. I get the shirts. They're long sleeve shirts. It's July. What do I need long sleeve shirts for? Neither one of us said short sleeve or long sleeve while I was there. Okay, fine, I get that. So what happened was, where I worked before, I had t-shirts, and then I had ordered long sleeves in the winter. So what they did when I went in, I'm only assuming, is they just like copied the order, the last thing I ordered, which was long sleeve shirts. So that's fine, and I didn't, that's fine. It kind of sucked. It was fine at work, actually, though, because I'm always cold and the air conditioner was on, so I was actually fine with having the long sleeve shirts. The thing that sucked was driving from home to work, because it would be like 95 degrees out, and I have long sleeve shirts on, so By the time I got there, sometimes it was a little warm. But that was fine. But then, it was like a week or two after I got these stupid shirts that I was complaining about them being long sleeve, that they decided to change the uniforms, and I had to order new shirts. Number one. Number two. So this is a completely different place that they're going to. I wanted cotton and I wanted gray. They came back and said the cotton's discontinued, whatever it was. It pretty much can't get the cotton. So I have to get the other shirts which are polyester, and they're also $10 more a shirt. So now we're going from $35 to $45. Okay, fine. Whatever. Gray. No, they don't have gray in the polyester. Okay, fine. Navy blue. So I get these shirts. First of all, they're not the fabric I want. The navy blue, they almost look black. The reason I wanted gray shirts was because I had 3 cats that have white fur on them. Yes. And I didn't want these stupid $45 shirts anyway. I wanted the $35 shirts. So that's fine, whatever. So that's not the problem. I'm all set with the shirts. I don't care anymore, right? It's not what I wanted. It's more expensive than what I wanted, but fine, don't care. When did they bill us? Now. So add that to the $600 dentist and doctor bills. Now I have to pay $180 for my stupid shirts that I didn't even want. So yeah, as you can see, I'm laughing because clearly there's nothing I can do about it, except the doctor one I'm trying to get resolved, but it's just like, oh my god, why? Why? So that's how my New Year's has been going. No, I'm just kidding, I don't care. But yeah, that's life. But like I said, there are other people around that have much bigger problems than that, so that's fine and I don't care. The furnace. So we have... I don't know, I probably mentioned it before because it was making weird noises. I don't know if I recorded after that though. I think I did. Well, whatever. We have this weird, it's not weird, but it's different. So when our furnace burnt out a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, our furnace is burnt out. This used to be a 2-family that they converted to a 1-family, so there were 2 furnaces. And one of them burnt out. Of course, the one that burnt out was the bigger one that probably could have run the whole house. Not the small, tiny one. So obviously, the small, tiny one wasn't big enough to run the house. The one that was still okay wasn't big enough to run the whole house, so we had to get something. And we were like, well, then we should just combine the house because, you know, whatever. So we had already gone down from 2 water heaters to 1. And it was rented anyway, so I didn't purchase it. But then the furnace issue. So the plumber that we had at the time, I'm sure you've heard about this because the installation was a huge headache, suggested this combo unit. So it's our hot water on demand and it's the furnace. And there was a humongous rebate. So it went from like $7,500 down to like $3,500. So I was like, sure, let's do that. That's great. Because that's how much a new furnace, the other one's going to cost anyway. This one's supposed to be more efficient, whatever. Okay. So we do that. So a couple of weeks ago I was making these horrible noises. I compared it to the Titanic going down. It was this like groaning, horrible, horrible noise. So the plumber that installed it, first of all, after the installation debacle, that was horrible, he was a great guy, but the problem was that he had worked for himself and then he got a job with like a commercial company that did like commercial, like industrial big jobs. So we couldn't get a hold of him anymore. So I just picked a number out of the phone book and called. And it was great. They sent the guy over the next day. He looked at it. He was trying to figure it out. He's like, I think it just needs to be cleaned, but this thing kind of looks weird. I got to call tech support, which I get. Because now, like that thing, it's not just like a furnace. Like it's got circuit boards. It's like a mini computer thing. It's this whole thing. So that's fine. So he cleans it, and it's still making the noise. So he's like, yeah, I don't think just cleaning it was enough. I'm going to call tech support and see where to go from there. Okay, fine. So it's still making the noise, he leaves. Then it stopped making the noise. Like, it made the noise a couple more times that day after he cleaned it, and then it stopped. So at this point, it's not making the noise, and it's working fine. I think. I hope. I don't know. But long story short, he called me back, like, 2 days later and said that tech support was still looking into it. Blah, blah, blah. They had some ideas. I have to test something, but I had sent out this tool. It was, like, to test the CO output and things like that, so I don't know what it's called, but that kind of a thing. It's like mine actually I just sent out to get like, you know, calibrated or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. So he's like, so when I get that back, we can continue. That was like a month ago. I don't know where this guy is. But the furnace is still working, so it's really not my top concern at the moment. So we'll see what happens with that. The problem is, well, obviously we need heat. It was really warm out. It was like 50s, 60s, 70s some days in December here in New England. I live in Massachusetts, if you're new to the podcast. So it really wasn't a big deal. But since that's a combo unit and it's also our hot water, if that thing stops working, we do have a big problem. And now it's actually cold. It was like 20 yesterday, so it's probably below 0 at night. But so now the heat is an issue if there is a problem. But obviously we need hot water because you can't take a shower without hot water. You think you can. I've done it once before. You think it's not that big of a deal. You're like, oh, hot water heater's broken or something, and you're waiting for a plumber. And you're like, it's a cold shower. No, it is. It hurts. It hurts. I don't know if you've ever done it, but it's actually painful. You do not want to ever not have hot water. It's horrible. I would rather not have electricity than not have hot water. So that's that for my, wonderful New Year, huh? No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not even going to let it bother me. It's fine. So let's move on to Revelations and the knitting and get away from the whatever problems I have right now. Let's see. I do have some FOs. I have the Happy Frog. I don't think you even heard about these since I haven't recorded in so long. This was a pattern I had in my queue for a little while, and I wanted to make him, and he's so cute. I love him. I love him. He's so cute. I did have fun with this one, too, because it suggests that you block the appendages before you sew them up. So when I was blocking him, I was to the tune of Judas Priest breaking the law. I was blocking the frog, blocking the frog. It was fun. It's a good time. Then I did a mystery knit along. That's a cowl. It's a big cowl. I've never made one like this. And it's pretty cool though. So it's a nice big one. It's really comfy if you have a jacket on. Woo! And now it's a pattern, so now it's called Bittersweet. And before it was one for you too. So the point of it was right before Christmas, like the week before Christmas. It was only like an hour or so of knitting for each clue, 7 clues, so that you had something to make for yourself after doing all of your Christmas knitting. So that's pretty cool. As you can see, I haven't blocked it or woven in the ends. And one other FO I have, which I gave away as a Christmas gift, so I'll have to show you just the picture of it, is I made another little owl. And I made this for my friend's mom, who was in from Wisconsin, because she's a knitter, so she really appreciates the hand knits, and she likes owls. So I made her a little owl, and she loved it. And that's the friend who, it's her mother-in-law, the one that I gave the penguin pillow to, if you remember the penguin pillow. So it was really nice to see them too. I worked on Christmas, so my husband went to his family thing, but Christmas Eve, I had my regular day off. We went to his friend's house. That's with the little owl. And that's about it. I'm working on the shawl I'm designing, and I'm almost done knitting it. So after that, then I have free reign to do whatever I want, but I really want to finish that up first. So there's really nothing else that I've been working on. My making Christmas socks are still probably where they are the last time you saw them, so they're clearly not going to be done for Christmas. But that's okay, because they're just socks for me. And the Knitters Guild Association Master Hand Knitter Program Level 2, I really have to get my button gear, because it's been like 6 months since I ordered it. There's no time limit, it's up to you, but I really wanted it done in a year. That's clearly not going to happen, because I've already wasted 6 months. So that's it for Revelations. String theory, spinning, I have none, as usual. That's another thing I really need to get back into today, actually, after I record. I'll have to see how I feel, though, although it's getting better now, but I have a wicked headache today, by the way. So, I might just go watch TV after I record this and lay on the couch. I don't know. So, but I need to clean this room up again, because I'm having trouble with all the crap all over the place, getting the wheel over here to be able to spin on it. And I also haven't touched any of my spindles, but hopefully you'll see some spinning in the future. Scrolls, we will have a book review this episode because I still have 2 books I think to get through that Cooperative Press was generous enough to send to me to review. And I will insert that here. Right before that, though, on the last episode, I did a review of SpillyJane Knits Mittens, and we have a giveaway for that. So why don't we do that? And then we'll have the next book review, which we'll also have a giveaway for. And that one's going to be Cast Iron, Cast On. But let's do the SpillyJane one first. So I put in 2 through 24 because I was the first entry into the thread, and it's number 11 that won a copy of SpillyJane Knits Mittens. So let's go and see who that was. I'll have to go on the computer for that. What did I do here? Here we go. That's one. Oh no, I did 2 through 11, so it's number 11, post number 11. So that is Little, it's not Little, it's Little, like the abbreviated Little, Dead Girl. So, and her favorites were Codfish and the Penguins. I really did like that Codfish one. So you have won a copy of SpillyJane Knits Mittens, and I will have Jocelyn send that to you. So you are Alyssa, so you have won. And congratulations, that's really cool. That's a really cool book, I do like it. Okay, so I assumed this episode would be longer because I have a lot to talk about, not that I haven't already. But if you're new to the podcast, my camera only allows me to record 29 minutes before it stops recording on me. I think that's just the file size for the memory that's in the camera before it dumps it onto the card. So we're running out of time here. So I'm going to pause here because this is a good spot with the book review. And then we'll have that Cast Iron, Cast On, and then I'll be back with the rest of the episode. This is a review of Cast Iron, Cast On, Cooking and Knitting Through the Seasons by Becky Herrick and Callie Hastings. It's published by Cooperative Press. There's 16 patterns and multiple recipes. It's 120 pages. $26.95 for the print version, $16.95 for the ebook version. And here's the table of contents. As you can see, it's broken up into seasons, like it said, and there's wonderful, yummy, delicious recipes in there, as well as wonderful, yummy, delicious knitting patterns. So I'll just show you a few of the ones that jumped out at me. I also wanted to show you some of the fabulous photography that's in the book. Here's an example, just really cool, eye-catching, nice photography in here. Here's another one. Just really cool. Lovely spreads. Really nice photography. In addition to the photography of the actual patterns themselves, these photos are just sprinkled throughout the book, and they're really cool. It's really, really nice eye candy. Here's one of the patterns, and like I said, it's broken up into seasons, so there's also typically a seasonal photo that starts it out, and then there's a blurb about the season and why they chose those recipes and that kind of thing. And for January, the pattern is this lovely cardigan called Blue Gold. And the recipe for this one is this blueberry jam cobbler. Delicious! And as you can see, they're paired very well. That sweater really depicts the same kind of thing, the patterning on it, as well as the color that they chose to make it, and really go very well together. For July, we have a summer theme, so the recipe is garden picnic pockets, lovely flaky crust filled with green tomato, potato, white onion, cheddar cheese, and for seasoning some sage and salt and pepper. Delicious. And for this one, the pattern is a picnic theme. It's this gorgeous blanket with this lace detail called Sola. And then for October, we have, whoops, there's some more nice photography. For October, we have the boiled cider apple dumplings. That just makes me drool. That's just amazing. And this one is Brayburn, and that's the cover pattern that's shown on the cover, that awesome hoodie sweater. Again, perfect colors for fall. And this one is, sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit, for July. One of the recipes is this infused green summer teas. We got fresh basil, fresh mint, and lemon balm. That just sounds absolutely delicious. And one of the patterns for July is this lovely top mentha with the nice lace detail there. So that's how pretty much every season goes. Some have a few more recipes and patterns than others. For example, you can see December's got 2 recipes, 2 patterns. January we just have the 1. Here's 2 recipes and 1 pattern. But it's a nice mixture of both throughout it. And then as well as the wonderful patterns, wonderful recipes, and wonderful photography, we also have the About the Authors and some links to the different places, the yarns that they used, and their acknowledgments, the abbreviations for all of the patterns, and then about Cooperative Press. So this was a really cool book. There really are some absolutely wonderful recipes in there that I'm dying to try, and some wonderful patterns. There's that lovely hooded sweater again. So you should really check this one out. Like I said, it's $26.95 for the print version and $16.95 for the ebook version. There are 16 patterns in there, as well as multiple recipes. And we'll have a giveaway for 1 free ebook copy version on the group. So go on over there to the thread and let me know which was your favorite pattern and which was your favorite. Well, I'm not sure that you get to see the recipes online, but you can tell me which one that I mentioned that's your favorite recipe. And that is Cast Iron, Cast On, Cooking and Knitting Through the Seasons by Becky Herrick and Callie Hastings, published by Cooperative Press. Alright, on to the rest of the episode. Excuse the sniffling. Not that I don't always do it anyway, but everybody at work is... Nobody's really sick, but everybody's got like the sniffles and they're losing their voice. The other day I was working with one of the guys, and the officers kept asking him to repeat himself, saying that his microphone wasn't working. Had absolutely nothing to do with his microphone, it's that he didn't have a voice left. So then I would, if they kept asking him later on in the night, I would just get on and repeat it for him because it was getting ridiculous. Like, he can't talk. He's speaking as loud as he can right now. He has no voice, so I think I'm getting a little bit of that too. Testaments. I have a ton. I'll try to get through it quickly. But I did the monster and mug swap that was on the Rebecca Danger group. So I showed you previously the one that I did, the little monster chunk that I did, and the mug. So my swappy, I like to drink tea sometimes. And when I drink tea, I like to drink it in a huge mug because it's probably like 2 or 3 cups of tea, the mugs that I use. And my husband got me some cool tea things for Christmas that I'll talk about in a minute. But for the monster mug swap, I said I like oversized mugs. This is the mug I got. She took that very seriously. You could like eat soup out of this mug. So that was awesome. I giggled so hard when I opened the box and saw this mug. It's just humongous. So in the mug was, let's see, I have a box of stuff over here. I have so much stuff to show. So my monster was this little guy. I just plucked him off the tree. Our tree is still up. He was hanging on the tree. So that's my little guy. And then she sent, I have a nice Lindt chocolate bear, and all of this fit in the mug, by the way. And she sent me some tea, different kinds of tea. And then she sent me some sock yarn minis, which is awesome because I have the sock yarn blanket that I'm working on, so that's cool. So that was what I got, and that was awesome. Christmas. So my husband got me some awesome stuff for Christmas. I'm wearing one. So he got me this Doctor Who sweatshirt and another one that's purple, but it's in the washing machine right now. so I can't show it to you. I said to one of the girls at work, yesterday I think it was actually, I said, I think she was looking at something online that was Doctor Who, and I said, oh, my husband got me 2 more Doctor Who sweatshirts for Christmas. And she's like, Angela, it's going to be all you wear. And I was like, I know, isn't it fabulous? Yeah. I'm sure you recall the black one that I have that I wear all the time. You've probably seen it on the podcast a ton. So, he got me those. He did get me some yarn that I sent him a list, but that's okay. So this is Please Stand By Yarns, and it's self-striping, and it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. Really cool colors. It looked even cooler in person. It looked cool online in the shop, but it looks even cooler in person. So that's that. And then he got me. This was also on my list, but it's a little teapot. I didn't bother bringing it in here, because knowing my luck right now, I would smash it to bits because it's glass. So let's just leave it in the kitchen and leave it alone. It's a little one, so it's like a 5-cup teapot, and what you do is it's got an infuser that's built in but removable, so you can rinse it. So it's got an infuser basket that like sits in the middle, so you can put all the loose teas in it. And so you have to heat the water like in a teapot on the stovetop, and then you can pour it into this little teapot. But it's awesome because, like I said, most of the mugs I use are 2 or 3 cups. This is like a 5-cup one, but it's super easy for me to just pour in like half, then that's the 2 cups. And then if I want another cup, I can just reheat the water and pour it in again, because the loose tea, there's plenty left in there to steep it again. So that was really cool. But then I had found this place previously mentioned in a swap, so I sent him a link. I didn't send him links to any teas. I said, you know, you can pick whatever you want. So he got me some loose teas to go with that teapot, and one was Firefly, and I don't know how well those are going to show up, but this one is cranberry, ginger, cinnamon, and cloves. It's delicious. They're all delicious. And one he got me was Pumpkin King, of course, Nightmare Before Christmas. And this one's really good too. I don't think, though, that I'm going to drink it at night before I go to bed again, because it could have had nothing to do with it, but it's very, very spicy. So let's just say my stomach was not happy the next morning. But it's delicious, and I'm sure it's fine if you drink it at a normal hour. I drank it right before I went to bed, and I drank like, 4 or 5 cups of it. It's pumpkin spice, cinnamon, masala chai, and ginger. And then the last one he got, which is awesome. And it's delicious. Is, do you know who that is? Do you know who that is? That's the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. And this one's Irish breakfast tea, chocolate chips and marigold flowers. Oh, it's so delicious. It smells so good. It is. It's chocolate tea. It's absolutely delicious. So, super excited about that. And then I think there were a few other things he got me, but honestly, I don't know where they are right now or what they were. Not that they weren't fabulous, but oh, he did. I wanted a new alarm clock because I haven't had an alarm clock in years, and I use my phone. And it's a pain in the butt because if my phone gets anything like Facebook or text messages or anything like that come in, when the alarm goes off, if I swipe the what are those notifications? To get out of the way to snooze the alarm, it just like shuts the alarm off because I swipe too many times and then the alarm gets shut off, which is not good for me. So I got a new alarm clock that also has like the soothing sound thingy, so it's got like thunderstorms and rain and it's radio and whatever. But then he also got me some new slippers, and they're Jack. Yay! They're really cool. They're really cute. So I got those too, so that was awesome. And yeah, so it was a good Christmas. And he loved his stuff. I got him a couple of video games and some DVDs. And the super cool thing that I found that was a surprise, we both listened to those zombie Fallout books, those Audible books. And I found a t-shirt that's really cool, and it says, "What would Talbot do?" on the front. Talbot was the main character. And on the back, it just had the picture of the first book. But it was really cool. I was really excited to find that. What else do I have? I have a ton of stuff. Oh, the friend whose mom I made the owl, they gave us a little gift. This was really cool. They found these up in Maine while they were doing, they like to go hiking and biking and stuff like that, but they found these up there, so they got them for me, and they gave them to me at Christmas. And they're ceramic buttons, so that's cool. This one's have some leaves on them. And this one's a dragonfly. So that was really cool of them. And the one with the leaves, I'm thinking of designing a hat, like a worsted weight hat, using those in that design. So we'll see how that goes. I did buy myself some Christmas presents, of course. So this one, she had a pretty good coupon code. It's like 30% off or something. This is Crazy Dog Yarns, and she's out of Canada, but the shipping and everything was reasonable. And this one is self-striping, and this is Ingrid's Understanding. Sorry. And oh my god, the colors in this are just so awesome. These are going to make awesome socks. And then this one is the new Neapolitan. It's also self-striping. And this one's cool. It's like the reversible one, so one sock will have more of one color and one will have more of the other. And this is called Missed Oh my god, I should probably stop recording now. Missed Opportunity. And my favorite colors, green and purple. So that's one thing I got for myself. I got some bags. This one is, do they have a tag? Prairie Bag Works on Etsy. I could not pass up this print. It is so flippin' cute. Look at the cats. And then the inside is really cool. There's two pockets with this cat print. But then also, what was really cool was there's a measuring tape that is actually like an accurate ruler. I feel like I've shown this bag before. I'm having deja vu. But anyway. And then this one is from You Sew and Sew. You is E-W-E like a sheep. I got one other bag from her, but I don't know that I showed it. But this one was so cute with the chameleons. And she does a really good job. Like, look at what she picked for the zipper pull. It's one of the little eyes. And the inside is little buggies. It's little buggies in there. So that's super cute. And the color's really good. I love the yellow with it. It looks really good. And there's a pocket in there too. So she does really, really nice bags. She's also on Etsy, You Sew and Sew. And then, what else do I have? I have so much stuff. Actually, no, I'm almost done. I got my Into the World, and I was super excited about this one, because when I talk about reading, I was finishing up Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and this is Godric's Hollow. So I was super excited when I opened that. And it's really cool colors. Yellow is not really my color, but this looks awesome together. I really like it. And it's super wash merino. And this was, I said before, I should probably get out of the Into the World Club because I don't spin enough, and then I got this. And then I was like, nah, I think I'm going to stay. So, yeah. I dyed some yarn for a mystery knit-along, and it did not at all come out like I wanted for that project, but it's fine. I wanted to do like the sprinkle graffiti kind of thing, and it didn't quite work out right, and I was doing it with Kool-Aid, but it's fine yarn for like socks or whatever. It's perfectly fine, but I'm not a huge fan of red, and most of the Kool-Aid I had in the cabinet was red. So that's what I don't like about it for the shawl that we're going to be knitting, but otherwise it came out fine. So what I did then was I instead went, and this was around the time, I think I recorded after that, so you heard about it. I worked 30 hours of overtime over like near Thanksgiving, so I really didn't care about buying something extra. Mind you, also this was before I knew I had $600 and something in bills, but whatever. So I just bought yarn for the shawl, and I got it from Spun Right Round because she does an awesome sprinkle dye. So I bought these two colors for it. It was supposed to be like a solid or a tonal and a sprinkle dyed, so these are the two that I got. And one, no, I remember. This one's the Walkers, and this one's Superstition. So yeah, I just said, you know what, I'm just going to buy it, because clearly dyeing it did not work out very well. So, the only other thing I have for Testaments is, I think I mentioned before, I was going to do a mini sock yarn swap for like sock blanket and stuff. Excuse me. So I got my minis. Yay! So that was really cool. I'll probably do that again. It's a really good size for the sock yarn blanket. It's 10 grams, but you don't realize how much yarn is actually in 10 grams when you have to wind up 10 gram minis. It's a lot. And they were actually, I was digging through my sock yarn blanket stash. Now, one square in the sock yarn blanket only takes like 2 grams. So I've got plenty of yarns in there to do it, but then I was coming up short trying to make these 10 gram minis with some of the yarns that I had. Without making a bunch of them the same, which it doesn't really matter because it's split up between 10 people, so not one person's going to get the same colors. Each person's going to get one of them, even if I did one whole skein of the same color, so it's not really a big deal. But it was becoming a pain in the butt digging through there trying to find enough yarn to make minis for all these things. Oh, the other thing that was funny, that cowl, I went and bought yarn for it because since it was a mystery knit along, I didn't want to use anything in a variegated color because I didn't know what it was going to look like. So I went to the yarn store and bought yarn for it, but I also didn't want to spend a ton of money on it because I didn't even know what it was. So I got, who makes this? Where's the tag? Oh, it is Cascade Ecological Wool, which is a humongous skein. Now it is bulky, so that's what I thought it was. We needed 250 yards for this project, 250, 260 yards for this project, so I thought that that's what I was getting. I misread the label. That says 250 grams, not yards. So I was laughing when I wound this ball because I couldn't even wind it on my ball winder in Swift because it was too big. This is what's left. So this ball was like the size of a basketball by the time I was done winding it. It was so ridiculous. But yeah, it was because I misread it doesn't matter. I liked this yarn and I wanted this yarn and it was only $23, but I misread the label and I thought it was 250 yards, not 250 grams. It's like 400 and something yards. So that was just funny. That's it for Testaments. For real. Because even if I forgot something, I don't really care. So, intentions, Delusional Knitter Designs. I did update the group with some things that I hope to design this year. And like I said, I'm almost done with the sample for my shawl, and it's currently in test knitting because I just have a little bit more to knit, and then that will be done. So I figured everybody could start knitting and I'll catch up and it should be fine, I hope. We'll see. Hearsay. So we have the Epic Knit Along on my group, and that's going pretty good, and I have to get some prizes going for that. But so far so good, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of chatter. It's all about, I have 4 categories. Epic Technique, so you do something new or learn something new. Epic Yardage, so you do something over 800 yards. Epic Patterns, I have a list of knit and crochet patterns, and essentially all I did was I went on Ravelry and I sorted them by most projects, because those to me are epic, the ones most people have done. And then Epic Age, which are whips, finishing up whips. So those are the 4 categories. And I don't have any Ravelry patterns for you today. Bullet journal. Just briefly talk about that. Getting better with my bullet journal. The biggest problem with me and to-do lists is I love to make these lists. Then I don't look at them again or do anything on them. But I'm getting better at it. I do like my spreads. I'm also looking into hand lettering. I used to do scrapbooking, and I could do awesome like calligraphy and stuff. It's not working out. So I was looking on YouTube and kind of going back into calligraphy and hand lettering and stuff like that. But I am happy with my monthly spreads so far. So these are what my monthly calendars look like. And then you go from there. You can make, like I have a January tracker and January goals. Of course I don't fill out my tracker. Clearly, as you can see, it's day 5 of the month. Look what I did. Whatever. And then, like this is an example of a day. This is my to-do list. Technically yesterday and today, because I apparently didn't do anything yesterday, so I just continued on today. But that's kind of how a bullet journal works. If you've never heard of it, you can go to bulletjournal.com, and that explains it. But lots of people do it differently. Lots of people really color it and decorate it and stuff like that. I kind of want to go in the middle. I would like it to look nice. Like my calendars look nice and they're fun to look at and stuff like that, but I don't go crazy on it. Delusional Jabber, because that's not what the whole show is about already. Arts and crafts, I've done nothing else. Like I said, I was kind of looking into lettering and stuff like that. But I haven't done any drawing or any cross stitch or any of those other things I do. Reading, I've done a lot. So I finished Grip in that Slip trilogy, and I'm now on Flip, which is the third one. So it goes Slip, Flip, Grip. No, Slip, Grip, Flip is how it goes. But they're really, really good. I started listening to Ender's Game. That's a famous one that I've never read. I'm about halfway through that one. I did finish, like I said, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, so I finished the whole series rereading it. And I also this time read, in conjunction with it, because it's kind of got to do with it, Tales of Beetle the Bard. I read this time as well. So, speaking of that, for Goodreads, I had a challenge for myself last year to read 26 books, and I did. Yay! So this year I was going to try for 30. We'll see. Hopefully I exceed it. But yeah, I'm enjoying the reading a lot. TV. I started watching Jessica Jones. That one's pretty good. I got caught up on Big Bang Theory. Did you? Because the last episode was amazing. And kind of ties in with that one, but not really. We went to see Star Wars. Yay! So that was awesome. I don't want to give any spoilers or anything. I was really happy with it. You know, there's some fans, whatever, people always complain about everything. I never complain about movies or books because honestly, it's for entertainment, so why not just be entertained? Like, you know, I don't mind discussing it, you know, why they did this or who's related to this or why this person was doing that, that's fine, but I never complain about movies, so I thought it was really good. I was really happy to see that it was much more like the originals that came out in the 70s, you know, that style of movie. And I liked it a lot. So I'm super excited. We got off our butts and went to go see it. We went to see it last week, and actually that was the first snowstorm. So we went in the snowstorm. Got to use the four-wheel drive in my truck that works fabulously. So we ventured out into the snow to go see it. And it was still pretty packed. When we got there, it was fine. There were plenty of seats, but we got there 15 or 20 minutes before the movie. You know, a reasonable time to get there and get your seat. And it did fill up quite a bit after we were there, so it's still pretty popular. And Delusional Jabber. I just have something to share with you, and I might even make this the title of the show. So yesterday, I was at work, and an off-duty officer called. He was outside of a grocery store waiting for his wife to come back out. He was sitting in the car. And he said, there's a guy hanging around the front of the store, and there's just something not right about this guy. You need to send some guys up here to check him out. You know, something's going on. I think he might have tagged the propane exchange, you know, area, like tagged like graffiti. And I think he's got a can of something, so I think he's drinking alcohol or something, and he's just hanging around, and he's just giving me this bad vibe, and there's something wrong with it. Okay. Now, this also is the officer who catches everybody, runs into everybody doing something, or they have a warrant, or whatever. There's always, he makes like 3-4 arrests a day. It's crazy. So when he says this, not that I would ever ignore any other off-duty officer calling in this kind of thing, but when he says it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's definitely something wrong with this guy, right? So I send some officers up there, but while he's still telling me the story of the guy, so he's giving me the description so that I can give it to the officers, you know, a legitimate description, clothing, blah, 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 colors, yada, yada, where he is, blah, blah. Towards the end of the conversation, he says to me, yeah, send some guys up here to check him out. They can't miss him. He sticks out like a turd in a punch bowl. And my brain hiccuped for a minute. And my brain, I don't know about you, but I have two voices in my head. One asks questions, one answers questions. They're two different voices. So the question voice pauses in my head and it goes, did he just say he sticks out like a turd in a punch bowl? And the other voice that's laughing hysterically says, oh, yes he did. And I'm really not all that surprised coming from this officer because he's a fantastic storyteller and he's absolutely hysterical all the time. And now, mind you, when he's telling me this, he's dead serious. Dead serious. So, that phrase will stick in my head for the rest of my life. Sticks out like a turd in a punch bowl. Yes. Yes. And Happy New Year. That is what I will leave you with for this episode. Oh, I did have one other thing I wanted to mention. If you can get over that phrase I just gave you and pay attention. So, the podcast is on a couple of different platforms. It's on YouTube. I embed it in the Ravelry group. It's on delusionalknitter.com. It's on iTunes. The last episode on YouTube, typically the views for YouTube are 100 and something. The last episode is up over 650. I think that's a statistical anomaly, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm just going to put a little poll on the Ravelry board for this episode, just asking what platform you watch it on, because that's just weird, and I don't think it's accurate. I think that's definitely an error, because I don't understand how, because all the previous episodes didn't jump up either, so it's not like a whole bunch of new people started watching and started with the last episode, because typically they go back and watch a couple of the older ones too, so I think that's weird. So I'm just curious what platform people watch the podcast on. If you could fill out that poll, I would really appreciate it. And if you're not a member of Ravelry, which is kind of weird because this is a knitting podcast, don't know why you wouldn't be on Ravelry, you can post it as a comment in YouTube or on delusionalknitter.com if you want. Just throw it out there. Just throw out what you watch it on and I'll know what you mean. The other thing, before I forget, the Keep On Knitting on Socks 2015, we have the last prize, which is this lovely Into the World 75-25 Superwash BFL and nylon in the Bird Girl colorway. I gotta do the giveaway for that. And then we will be done. So, I had it all set up here too. Like a turd in a punch bowl. It just will never. I hope it's stuck in your head too, because it will just never, ever, ever, ever come out of my head. Never. Alright, so we had 1 through 29 for entries. I'm going to click generate, and it's number 19. So, I will go see who that was, and my tablet battery's dying. Alright, and then we will be done for this episode. Okay, 1 through 29. I might have to actually count them, sorry, because I have to pull up the pictures because there's chatter in there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Was it 19? I already forgot the number. Oh my goodness. 19. And now I have to count again because I forgot the number and I forgot which one I was looking at. Oh my goodness! Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 is Pocketses! Yay! You've been lucky on the podcast lately. So, you won with post number 25. That's Sharon. Just jotting that down, sorry, since I couldn't even remember the number after 2 seconds, which is crazy. So you have won that yarn, so I will get that off to you. And I hope you had a happy new year. I hope you had happy holidays. I hope you're doing very well. And thank you for joining me once again. And happy knitting and spinning.